Welcome to The Heart of Health Live. There's a place for modern medicine in your life. Learn to use it correctly by getting your toughest questions answered on today's broadcast. Discover modern medicine's strengths and weaknesses. Lifestyle medicine opens the door to optimum health and healing. How you live and what you eat can profoundly affect mind and body. Learn simple solutions to complex problems. God provides the ultimate healing we all desire. He wants us healthy and happy. We just need to understand His plan for our lives and live accordingly. And now, live from Studio 1A in Chattanooga, Tennessee, here's your Heart of Health host, Dr. James Marcum.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on tonight's special edition of the Heart of Health Live. I'm Nick Evanson, your host for the evening, and of course we have a very special guest across from me here. Dr. James Marcum, speaker and director for HeartWise Ministries, is going to be answering your questions. And so we're really excited to have you here, Dr. Marcum. And we pray that through our efforts here tonight, everyone will be led closer to God's original design for our lives and towards better health. Did you know that heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in America? Now, there's a lot of things that you can't change to mitigate your risks, such as your age, your gender, and your family history. But there are some key steps that you can do to reduce your risk of heart disease. And Dr. Marcum is going to join us and give us some tips here shortly this evening. If you're interested in learning those tips, we invite you to watch the rest of the show, and you can also call us with your questions at 855-644-3278. That's 855-644-3278. Our call operators are standing by, so give us a call with your questions. You can also text your questions to 423-834-7307. Dr. Marcum, thank you for joining us tonight.
My pleasure, Nick, and we're going to be talking about this organ here, and this is about the size of an absolute heart. And I couldn't just rip my chest open, could I?
Right.
But this is a representation of a heart. We're going to answer questions about hearts. And if anyone's out there that's being treated for heart disease or has a question, we're just going to answer anything. And they can also go to our website.
That's right. If you want to learn more about HeartWise, you can go to our website at heartwiseministries.org, where you can read Dr. Marcum's blogs. You can put your prayer requests there and be part of our prayer team and pray for others. You can also ask the doctor a question. One of our physicians on our medical team will look at your question and give you their professional opinion, and it's all free of charge. So stay tuned. More of the Heart of Health Live is to come. Thank you for tuning in tonight, and we look forward to seeing you back here real soon.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
The Heart of Health Live is brought to you by HeartWise Ministries.
I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org.
HeartWise Ministries would like to invite you to take a moment and connect with us and share your thoughts and comments. You can join the conversation on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. HeartWiseMinistries.org will help you stay up to date with what's going on. And of course, you can always watch past shows on Vimeo.com.
Body language. Without saying a word, can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time. Time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Heart of Health Live, where tonight we're discussing cardiology and heart health. And Dr. Marcum is here with us, and we're going to dive right into some questions tonight, Dr. Marcum.
I don't want to dive into it. I want to let everyone know that we're so glad Nick is here tonight. This is one of his first times he's doing it. So if he seems a little nervous, he's going to get over it. He's going to take some deep breaths. But what I've realized, Nick, is as I've sat here, is a lot of people like to ask questions from all sorts of fields. And sometimes we just got a specific guest. And I've learned from all the different guests, and I've assimilated that, so I might be able to help someone out there just from listening to some of my other guests. So don't be nervous. No, everyone here is very forgiving. This is only live TV on 9 networks. It's not a big deal. You're going to get used to it. And you know what? Those that listen to this program, it's like a big family. You know, we have people that call in every week and visit with us. We want to just help serve people. And we're going to help tonight someone learn about their hearts. And I understand that there's some questions that have come in.
There sure are. One more time, though, before we go to those questions, I want to give out the phone number again. If you have a question, you can speak on the program with Dr. Marcum this evening by calling 855-644-3278. And we invite you to call in with your questions. Well, we've got some questions here from the internet. Some website questions came in.
Give me the easy one first.
All right. So we have a caller that asks, are sleeping pills a good idea for heart failure patients? Yeah,
and I get that question a lot. You know, a lot of people, Nick, have problems sleeping.
Yeah.
Have you ever had problems sleeping?
I actually, somewhat frequently. I'll lay down at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and I probably stay up later than I should.
Yeah.
And my mind just will be turning, and I'll be thinking about things that maybe are coming up the next day or in the next coming days, and I'm just a little stressed out and I have a hard time putting my mind at ease so I can go to sleep.
That's a great question, especially they're asking, the sleeping pill is dangerous for your heart. And what I did is I was able to pull this article that was just done from a researcher in Japan. And he looked at 111 patients with heart failure. That means the heart wasn't doing its job. And this actually, the heart on these patients was a strong heart, okay? It just was a stiff heart. And then he compared also with people with weak hearts. And he found out that people that took sleeping pills, if they had a bad heart, it made things worse.
Really?
Yeah. And in this study, the way it made things worse is a couple ways. They thought the medicine in itself made the heart weaker. And another way that I think is probably the more salient reason is because when you take sleeping pills, you don't breathe as good at night.
Sure, yeah.
And at night, when you're breathing, when you're getting good oxygen, guess what? The heart loves oxygen.
Yeah.
And when it gets good oxygen, everything works better. But likewise, when you're low on oxygen, we give that a fancy term called hypoxia. Okay? When you're low on oxygen, the heart doesn't work well, it can't rest well, it can't relax well, it can't pump as well, and they have higher episodes of heart failure. So the answer to that question is people that have bad hearts don't seem to do as well with sleeping pills. But I want to talk a little bit about not sleeping well at night.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find that if I do more exercise in a day, I'll get better sleep. But maybe, someone with heart failure, what do you recommend for them?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to know why they don't sleep well at night. First, let's make sure they're not in heart failure at night. Sometimes fluid gets backed up in the lungs. When they lay down, they can't breathe. Okay, so just treating the heart failure might make them breathe better.
Right.
Sometimes it can be a medication that can disrupt the sleep. But some of the more common things that disrupt sleep nowadays is a condition called sleep apnea, where we don't get oxygen at night. Another thing is television.
Sure.
We know that people that watch lots of TV, what it does is it stimulates a chemical called adrenaline, the stress hormone, and your mind gets revved up. People that are thinking about a lot of things late at night, doing their bills, working on computers, sometimes their minds are too revved up too. So fluctuations in blood sugar can cause it too. So eating big at night, stimulants like caffeine, alcohol, all of those things can disrupt the sleep patterns. So the first thing I would want to do if someone is having a sleep problem is talk to them and try to see if we can identify the factors which might be disrupting sleep, because rest is one of the most useful treatments for almost every condition. It helps broken bones, it helps weak hearts, it helps, if you have problems with mental problems, depression, anxiety, it helps with that. Of course, if you have joint problems, rest helps you. So rest is a key important. So I think that was a great point to kick us off today. That was a good question.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that answer. I'm gonna try some of those myself. We've got a call from Wisconsin. Stacy, thank you for calling us this evening. What's your question for Dr. Marcum tonight?
My question is I'm fighting high cholesterol. I've been trying to eat extremely healthy. I've been taking my fish oils faithfully and eating mainly fruits and vegetables, and my cholesterol has still not gone down, and I know that high cholesterol leads to heart problems, and I know I have family history of it, but what can I possibly do to naturally take care of it? Because of right now I'm on atorvastatin, and they're just about to put me on another medication to go right along with it, and I'm fed up with medications.
Okay, that's a very great question, Stacy. And if you think about it, cholesterol medications just treat one pathway, and they're typically called statins. And some people need them, some people do not need them. And ways that we can naturally bring down cholesterol. Now, some people, Nick, have genetic histories, okay? And some people that have a high genetic history of heart disease need extra help. But the way I tell people is do like you're doing, eat predominantly plants, a whole food plant-based diet. Get on an exercise program where you start doing something and build up every day. You want to know what type of cholesterol you have. The bad cholesterol is called the LDL cholesterol. The good cholesterol is called the HDL. So the total number, if it's a lot of good cholesterol, Nick, that might be good. Another thing, Stacy, you can do is try to keep the stress down. The more stress in the life, the more cortisol you make and the more you eat poorly. So cutting the stress down in your life, taking deep breaths, taking vacations, getting enough rest, having a balance, that might help too. There are specific times that you might eat that will help cholesterol too. You want to try not to eat big meals at night, because that time the food absorbs the cholesterol more than other times. Another thing, if you do eat a big meal at night, try to chase it with some water and fiber so it doesn't stay in your gut as long to absorb those things. But if you do all those things, do the best you can, exercise, keep the stress down, exercise, fiber like oatmeal, psyllium flax, those things all might help you. Hopefully that will lower your cholesterol down, and your doctor might not need to recommend a medicine called like a statin. And if you go to our website and give me your absolutely numbers, I can tell you whether it's a big problem or a little problem that you're dealing with, Stacy. But thank you so much for calling.
Stacy, great question, and thank you for your call. If you go to heartwiseministries.org and then ask the doctor, there's a button on the front page, ask the doctor. You can submit your information and Dr. Marcum will take a look at it.
You know, Nick, lots of people have problems with cholesterol, and the total number doesn't really give me the answers, but they divide it up into bad cholesterol, which is called the LDL,
right,
and the good cholesterol with the HDL. Now, I had a lady come in the other day that was scared because her cholesterol was 220, but 100 of it was good cholesterol. So it wasn't quite as scary. And the good cholesterol is like the vacuum that takes it out. In fact, there's a group of people in Italy that has all good cholesterol genetically, and it sucks out all their cholesterol. They've never had heart disease or stroke their entire lives.
That's fantastic.
Is that pretty good?
We're going to have to hear more about what the difference is between good cholesterol and bad cholesterol and how you can change those numbers so that you have more good cholesterol. We'll do that just when we get back. Thank you. You're watching The Heart of Health Live. We want to hear your calls, 855-644-3278. We'll be right back after the break.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
also spend 8 minutes decorating their little brother.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
The Ultimate Prescription by cardiologist Dr. James Marcum is taking the nation by storm. People everywhere are learning what living a healthy life is all about. If you're happy living a drug-filled, pain-filled, mundane existence, this book is definitely not for you. In this book, Dr. Marcum dives into modern medicine's strengths and weaknesses and explains how lifestyle choices can significantly impact your health. To get your copy, visit Barnes & Noble or shop online at Amazon.com. Meet Charlie. He's a normal guy with a big problem. You see, Charlie doesn't like to eat healthy foods, and now he's overweight and doesn't know what to do about it. Luckily for Charlie, he's found Weight Management by the Book. Weight Management by the Book is a complete weight loss solution that includes 7 DVDs with 5 hours of lectures, a workbook with over 100 healthy recipes, and an exercise band so you can exercise at home. Dr. Charlene McCullough is a nutritionist, author, and speaker, and together she and Dr. James Marcum talk about the practical ways you can manage your weight and do it the way God intended. As it turned out, it was the best decision Charlie could make because he was able to lose weight and feel great. So now that big problem Charlie had is no problem at all and has completely gone away. Don't you want to know how to manage your weight God's way? For a donation of any amount, we'll send you the complete Weight Management by the Book set of DVDs, workbook, and exercise band. But hey, don't take our word for it. Here's what others have to say about our program.
Weight Management by the Book was an answer from God.
I love that this program focuses on relationships as well as diet and exercise.
Thank you for giving me the hope to change and for doing it in a loving way.
So what are you waiting for? Visit our website at heartwiseministries.org or call our telephone number 855-644-3278.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Heart of Health Live. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're sharing information with you tonight that can change your life and change your health for the better. We've got great calls coming in tonight. Several people are in line, but first, Dr. Marcum, we want to talk about some of the projects that we've been working on here at Heartwise Ministries. Go ahead and tell us what's in the pipeline.
Well, one of the projects you've been working on, you and Leslie, has finally joined us, and that's Hayden.
That's right.
So when did Hayden arrive?
You know, just 3.5 weeks ago, my wife and I had our first child, and his name is Hayden Mitchell Evanson. And we are so glad to bring him to the world and introduce him to everybody. And there's a picture of him. He's adorable. And it's fantastic.
I think he looks like a little bit of like both of you.
Yeah, I think so.
And hopefully he'll come in one evening and we can have him say hi to everybody. You know, once he gets a little older, moving around.
We can probably do that.
We've been working on a lot of good projects at Heartwise, and we want to thank our Heartwise family for making it all possible through your prayers and through your donations. A couple things we're working on right now is we're working on developing a kids program. Mm-hmm. We're also working on a health evangelism outreach program that we can take to many organizations to get people interested in not only their health, but in a relationship with their Creator. We're working on that project. And we're working on a lot of 1-minute health spots that we can share with people that will inspire them to move one step closer to health. You know, you don't get healthy all at once, Nick.
That's right. That's right. One step at a time. And tell us just in a real quick snippet, why do you do all this? Why do you spend your time, extra time, doing all of this?
You know, I do that because I believe that God wants us to serve each other. And and people are hungry for information. And in my practice at the Heart Institute, sometimes I don't have enough time to share all these things.
Right.
Especially about the prevention and especially about the witnessing, about how relationships are so important. And it's also made me a much better physician because I get to learn about GI health, I get to learn about feet. We talked about exercise, we talked about hearts, which I know about quite a bit, but I've learned a little bit about everything. And then I try to give people the balance. Some people are way in just doing all nutrition or all exercise or all modern medicines, but I look at it from a balanced perspective, and we meet people where they are, and we try to love them and not judge them. So let's find another person to love.
That's right. Vicki in Michigan, you're live with Dr. Marcum on the Heart of Health Live. What's your question for Dr. Marcum this evening?
Thank you for what you do. And I just wanted to ask you, my husband, we just found out he's 69 years old. He is on a plant-based diet and has been for quite some time now, but he's still very overweight. And they just found out he's got an enlarged left ventricle, arterial stenosis in his aortic valve, and he's got regurgitation and a couple other valves. And the tests they did to find out how severe the aortic valve was, one doctor said it was a 1 and one said it was a 1.4. He's scheduled next week for a chemical treadmill, and what I want to find out is if there's anything natural we can do to help him other than the plant-based diet. They told him they really don't want him exercising till they find out about this treadmill thing. And is there anything, supplements, is there anything, I know we can pray, which we've been doing on a regular basis, but is there anything to help him? I guess that's all I really want to know.
Vicki, there's lots to do to help him, but we have to go one step at a time. And the first step is to see what in modern medicine can help him, and that's what they're trying to do. Is he a gentleman that might benefit from a bypass surgery? Does he might need a new heart valve? And these tests will let the doctors know that. If the heart is weakened, there are several medications that can be used that might help the strength of the heart. Now, what can you do now in the waiting stage? Well, you want to wait till you see what he's up against before you start an exercise program. You're already doing really well with diet, but anything that causes stress on the body, try to minimize it the best you can. Try to make sure you get enough rest, okay? Talk to the doctor about at least moving around a little bit every day. You want to do that. Try to do things, make sure he's getting enough water every day. Try to make sure he's happy and optimistic about this. If you dwell on the negatives of heart disease, that makes it a lot harder to deal with. And of course, you've plugged into the spiritual side, and that's prayer. And we at HeartWise will add your husband to our prayer list. We'll be praying for you, and we want to develop a relationship with you. So call in, Vicki, and let us know what they find out, and we'll continue this discussion. But I think the first steps is to find out what modern medicine can do to help his heart. That's number one. 2, try to make sure you get enough rest so you can rest up. And 3, be optimistic and have a positive attitude while you're letting the Lord lead in this. Sometimes God heals through modern medicine. Sometimes he heals through lifestyle changes. And sometimes he heals right away, even though I don't see that as much as making changes in a life. But we will be praying for you so much. And thank you for calling us this evening.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vicki. That was a great question, and we'll keep him in our prayers. We're going to go straight to another call now from Minnesota. Gamati, what's your question for Dr. Marcum this evening?
Well, thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. But my question is that my sister has a kidney failure, and the doctors have suggested that she was vegetarian before. But now that they suggested that she should just eat meat, and she's not used to that. My question is that how can she be still vegetarian, and not eat meat because they just told her to avoid a lot of vegetables and just eat meat, and that's my question.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, a lot of physicians are not well schooled in nutrition. And what I tell people is you can get lots of great food that are high in the things you need from plants, whether that be beans and nuts and legumes, which are high in protein. Of course, you can get lots of carbohydrates. A lot of people now are getting carbohydrates in things like smoothies, where they put a lot of healthy things into a blender and blend it up, and sometimes that makes it easy to digest. People with digestive problems frequently digest up their fruits and vegetables in smoothies. Some people, depending on their culture and their situation, do have to eat some protein from sources other than plants. And sometimes that can be done too. But just if you're creative, there's a bunch of good websites. I want to refer you to a website that's Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine.org, PCRM.org. That's a website that's full of good suggestions of different types of foods and diets you can eat to still get all the nutrients that you need and still be healthy. So we hopefully that helps a little bit. And if you want to go to our website, there's also some authors that we work with that made some great suggestions on different types of books that you can order, that we can give you even more suggestions. But we just want to thank you for calling and let you know that we'll keep your daughter in our prayers, Gamadi. But remember, there's lots of other things. You just have to be a little bit more creative. Smoothies, fortified milk that's from soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk, all sorts of different things you can eat to get all the things that you need in a diet. But a dietitian that might be able to help you as well.
Yeah. And another resource might be nutritionfacts.org.
Yeah.
That's another place you can find some great resources on nutrition and plant-based diet.
Good.
The calls keep coming in, so we're going to go ahead and, well, you know what? Actually, we're not going to. We're going to wait.
Yeah, we have a break coming up.
We've got a break coming up shortly. But Dr. Marcum, tell me, can you answer real quickly, how do you know if it's safe for your heart to exercise?
Yeah, exercise, that's a big question, and there's been some studies done on that. But first, we're going to I don't have quite time to do that, but I'm going to come to that right after break. So if everyone will stay with us.
That's right. And you can always learn more during the break at heartwiseministries.org. And stay tuned. We'll be right back with Dr. Marcum.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
Today, more than ever before, businesses are searching for ways to increase productivity, reduce healthcare-related costs, and engage their employees in meaningful ways that help their businesses succeed. Heartwise Wellness Plus is a workplace wellness solution that does just that. Through early detection and prevention of disease, our wellness program can improve the lives of your employees by engaging them in activities that inspire healthy living. Our team of health professionals provide on-site services including health risk assessments, biometric screenings, individual counseling, and educational resources that encourage positive lifestyle changes that will last a lifetime. This program has proven effective over the past 20 years and has helped employers save millions of dollars in healthcare spending. For more information, visit heartwisewellnessplus.com and discover how wellness can be part of your winning strategy. Medicines That Kill from cardiologist Dr. James Marcum is now available. In his newest book, Dr. Marcum explains why he believes that medications may very well be the #1 cause of death in America. Medicines That Kill uncovers the hidden risks associated with modern pharmaceuticals and outlines the biblical plan for physical and spiritual health. To find out how to get your copy, visit our website at heartwiseministries.org or call us toll-free at 855-644-3278.
I'd like to think that one day, when we get to heaven, we're going to see a list of people like Jared and Susan, who were introduced to Jesus because of something we said. Or maybe it was as simple as a passing smile. But these people will look into their past and be able to say, I'm here because of you. Recently, you may have heard that Heartwise Ministries has begun spreading the gospel to the young, the old, the sick, and the healthy using this very television program. But we need your help. We want to take this type of medical programming to the non-believer and the person who has closed themselves off to traditional forms of outreach. If you believe as we do and want to support Heartwise so that together we can count more names on the tree of life, please consider donating today at heartwiseministries.org. That's heartwiseministries.org.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back to the Heart of Health Live, where tonight we're discussing tips that will help you feel better tomorrow and for the rest of your life. Dr. Marcum, just before the break, I asked you about exercise and how do you know if your heart is strong enough and if it's safe for you to exercise?
Yeah, some common sense things is, one, see your doctor who knows you the best. But if you're having symptoms, especially when you're doing things, if you're walking and feeling tightness in your chest, real shortness of breath, or not feeling well, you need to get checked out before you start your exercise program. A recent study that was done out in Oregon was actually studied people that do a lot of exercise. I know you're a big cyclist, Nick.
That's right, yeah.
You like to cycle, and I always worry about people who are out there. These are people that had sudden death while they were exercising in their middle age, and they considered middle-aged from 35 to 65, middle-aged, and they had sudden death, and they looked at characteristics. Was there anything that was about them that can predict it? And first I want to say, if you're exercising, that's great. But of these people that had sudden death while they're exercising, half of them, 51%, had known heart disease.
Oh, wow.
So they were exercising with their disease and had sudden cardiac death. But a third of those were having symptoms before they exercised. So if you're having something that doesn't feel right when you're exercising, you need to get that checked out. So 1/3 of those sudden cardiac deaths could have been prevented if that person would have just listened to their symptoms and gone get some help. But I think in the middle age, you should see your doctor, get him to at least listen to your heart, make sure you don't have a congenital heart disease or maybe have a weak heart or funny heart rhythm before starting on an exercise. Now, if you're a younger age group, that's a little bit different story. And then if you're doing extreme sports like you do, Nick, the bicycling, the triathlons, you need to talk to your doctor, because we talked not recently from an exercise physiologist about how people can sometimes over-exercise, and that can put as much stress on the body as smoking a pack of cigarettes to the cardiovascular system. So that is a great question, but I'm glad people are thinking about exercising, but just like anything else, it has to be done correctly.
So for someone who's young and healthy, when I'm cycling up a big hill and it's a long hill and my heart is beating really fast and I feel a little bit of pain, does that mean I need to back off or I need to go get checked out? Or?
Back off, and if it keeps happening, also get checked out. Because you don't want to make sure you don't have a congenital heart murmur that we see frequently in athletes that have sudden cardiac death. We also want to make sure that there's not funny heart rhythms, other thing that's happening.
Excellent.
But it might be that you're just overdoing it, not hydrated, not rested enough. So that's a great question.
Tell you what, we're going to go back to the phone lines. Ellen from Arizona, welcome to the show. What's your question for Dr. Marcum?
Dr. Marcum, I need to know about AFib. I had a stroke in 2001 from AFib. And I want to know, is there any way you can try to reverse afibrillation?
Okay, Ellen, that's a great.
Is there any?
Yeah.
Or is there any?
Yeah, there's a lot. Let me sort of talk to everybody, including you, about what atrial fibrillation is, and that's where the top part of the heart beats faster than the bottom part of the heart. It's a very common problem that people have, and it's been estimated that 1 in 3 strokes come from atrial fibrillation. Because when the top's beating like this, the blood doesn't move through, it gets a clot that's pumped up possibly to the head. So when a person has atrial fibrillation, the first thing we want to do as doctors is we want to slow down the heart so it doesn't beat so fast and thin out the blood. And typically we thin it out with blood thinners to lower the risk of stroke. Now, I do not like giving blood thinners to people, but I don't like strokes more, Nick. Okay, and it's all about risk and benefits. So that's the first step in atrial fibrillation. The second step is to find out why the person has atrial fibrillation. Is it due to genetics? Is it due to high blood pressure, a weak heart, thyroid disease, dehydration, sleep apnea? There's lots of things that can cause atrial fibrillation. If I can find out what's causing it and fix that problem, sometimes I can put the heart back into rhythm with either a medication or a shock. If I can do that, you keep it in rhythm. Sometimes if it stays in rhythm for a long time and they know how to check it, sometimes I might be able to take them off of medication. But Ellen, these are great questions, and if you have some specific questions, go to the website, heartwiseministries.org, because we could talk for a long time about that. But make sure you're seeing your doctor to help you with this atrial fibrillation. You should be seeing your doctor regularly for checkups, and also if he hasn't talked to you about thinning out your blood. I think that's probably the most important thing about atrial fibrillation, is making sure your blood has been thinned out. So thank you so much for calling, and we're gonna pray for Ellen.
Yeah, we will, definitely. You know, you mentioned something, Dr. Marcum, about not liking to put people on blood thinners, but this is something we talk about frequently. There's a place for modern medicine, and there's a place for blood thinners. What's kind of the balance there? How do you decide when it's okay and when you'd rather not?
I'll tell you, Nick, I put almost everyone with atrial fibrillation on blood thinners because I can't stand stroke. And like I said, now if they bleed or have a complication, then I reassess. Then at that point, the risk might not be worth the benefit. But I always check, you know, stroke is terrible. To have a stroke and can't talk and can't move, you'll lose your whole life. So I always try to put them on the medication first. Now, if I can find out why and keep them in rhythm for a long time, sometimes I can stop the medication. But I have to make sure that they don't slip out when we don't know it. So this is a very common rhythm problem that we have. It's the most common rhythm problem in America. In older adults, it's estimated that 10% of people have this. And if they're not on the blood thinners, up to 1 to 3 strokes come from this. And it's a real big problem that we have. So I'm glad Ellen brought that up, because if one person has a question about atrial fibrillation, lots of people. We could do a whole program sometime just on atrial fibrillation, right?
Yeah. Tell you what, we've got another call. Anita in Barbados. You're on the show with Dr. Marcum. Go ahead. What's your question?
Hi, my name is Anita, and I am calling to find out what is wrong with you when you feel sometimes your heartbeat in your left ear.
Okay. Well, Anita, there can be lots of different things. I want to ask you a few questions. Does this happen all the time or just certain times of the day?
Anytime, even at bedtime, it does. You feel it.
Okay. Does it feel like your heart's going fast, or you just feel it beating?
I just feel the sensation of the beating in the ear.
Okay. Can you feel it right now, that sensation?
Yes.
Okay. Well, a couple things. I've seen that quite a bit. It's particularly dangerous if you're getting dizzy or passing out or short of breath. But a lot of people feel their heart beating. Normally, I hear people hear it beating greater at night. That's because they're relaxed. And a couple things that I do when people have this, I want to make sure 3 things are good. I want to make sure their heart's strong. The second thing, I want to make sure it's what type of rhythm they're feeling. Sometimes they're feeling different rhythms that are abnormal. So I usually put a monitor on to see what type of rhythm. And the third thing I want to do is make sure there's nothing wrong with the arteries in the neck, to make sure they're not a problem that they're feeling as well. So those are 3 things. Now, I'm not saying that this is dangerous. A lot of people feel this because their nervous system's just in tune to things. They just feel things more than other people. But I would check it out to make sure those things are in line. I have some people that have overactive thyroids that sometimes feel their heart pounding and beating in them as well. So I would check with your doctor. Thanks for your call.
Yeah, Anita, thank you for your call. If you're watching tonight and you're trying to call in, our phone lines have been lit up. So go to our website, heartwiseministries.org, and you can ask the doctor there on our website. The Heart of Health Live returns in just a moment, so stay put.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
Heartwise Ministries would like to invite you to take a moment and connect with us and share your thoughts and comments. You can join the conversation on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter. HeartwiseMinistries.org will help you stay up to date with what's going on. And of course, you can always watch past shows on Vimeo.com.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned with us here this evening. Before we go on to the next caller, I'd just like to say that we really appreciate all of the support from our viewers and those that visit our website. All the prayers and all the financial support that you provided keep us on the air, and God continues to provide for us, so thank you for that.
You know, Nick, people actually are able to use this as a tool to reach their friends, because they can say, go to our website or friend us on Facebook.
That's right.
You know, Rick, our communications director, is doing a great job of getting the word out and sharing it with their friends and neighbors. And this is another way that we have relationships with people and get them into a relationship with their creator. And sometimes in this texty world, I think we're losing track of relationships. And so that's why we like to answer questions live, and people are calling in, and that's great. We want to continue that.
And we're always trying to grow that Facebook page. So if you're at home right now and you're on Facebook, suggest that your friends find Heartwise and help get the info out, because there's so many things we can do to help our health, help ourselves, and with God's grace, live a better tomorrow.
That's right.
Tell you what, we're going to go to another call. Debbie in Arizona. You're on with Dr. Marcum. What's your question tonight?
Hello, guys. My question is there anything I can eat, drink, or take that will clean the arteries in the blood to dislodge any plaque or anything that's in them and maybe flush them out?
Debbie, that is a great question. And there's been a lot of research out there. And if you want to look at some of the research, Dean Ornish out of California, as well as Dr. Esselstyn at the Cleveland Clinic, has shown that people that go to eating a whole food plant-based diet associated with exercise, often those people that get the fat out of their diets can reverse heart disease. Not everyone can clean up their arteries, but almost everyone can at least slow it down. So those are some things I tell everyone. Is there a magic potion pill? Well, some studies have shown that certain statins, those are cholesterol-lowering medications, might help. But the research showed that those who go to a high whole food plant-based diet with with no animal fat at all, those people that exercise can have a chance to reverse some of the disease in your heart. So every patient that I have that have coronary disease, every patient I have that I say that want to prevent disease, I try to get them to think along those lines and move one step at a time. As you eat more of the plant-based foods, less fat, you make a substance in your body called nitric oxide, which makes the arteries, these are arteries, it makes the arteries get bigger. It also helps reduce the cholesterol and the fat inside the arteries. And also an exercise program, regular exercise will help do this. So those are two things that you can do today, Debbie, that might help improve the artery health that you have, that doesn't have lots of side effects. Of course, if you're going to have an exercise program, make sure you check with your doctor to put you at the appropriate level. But thank you for calling. That's a great question, Nick. Great question.
It really is. And it's hard to eat a whole food plant-based diet if you eat out a lot.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've struggled with. You know, sometimes during the day when I'm at work, I want to go out and have lunch. What do you eat?
Yeah, pack your lunch. Pack your lunch with you, and if you start doing that on a regular basis, you'll say, well, it's just as easy to pack my lunch as it is to go out to eat. And then when you do go out to eat, try to pick places that you know are healthy foods. And And if you do find some good places, go to our website and write a review for us, because we're collecting places that serve healthy foods from all over the country so people can go out and find a healthy meal no matter where they're at.
That's right. You go to heartwiseministries.org and you scroll down on the homepage and you'll find Heartwise Healthy Eats. And you can go in there and find a restaurant close to you that may sell some good stuff
that's
for you.
Debbie's assignment, Debbie. You could help us out a lot by finding a healthy restaurant that serves it, write a review, and when you eat that food, you're helping clean out their arteries. So thanks so much.
You know, I've been a vegetarian all my life. I recently switched from just being a vegetarian to try and focus on more of a whole food, plant-based diet. And it's not an easy thing to do. The milk wasn't a problem for me, but cheese and sour cream and that kind of thing tasted really good. And so what are some things that you recommend? Well, not everybody's ready for that diet, but how do you get there?
It's a journey. You take it one step at a time, and you do one thing, and you try to add another, and you try to make substitutes. If you like something a whole lot, maybe you can substitute some peppers or some taste or some flavor or similar textures to the things you like. Other things that help a whole lot is eat all of the good stuff first and drink the water first, and maybe eat just enough bad stuff to be happy. Another thing is to do an experiment with your body. Go without totally for 2 weeks and see how you feel. I frequently check someone's cholesterol and the inflammation in their body, and after 2 weeks of going on that, I say, well, look at the numbers now. Everyone gets better. And just seeing that sometimes helps their brain. But really, eating starts in the brain. So you really have to have control over your brain and move things at the appropriate speed. But I'd rather have someone happy and moving slowly than going too quickly and getting discouraged and depressed.
Yep, that's some excellent thoughts. We're going to go to another call. Amita in Florida. You're live with Dr. Marcum. Go ahead with your question.
Esmita Garrick.
Okay, yeah, well, you're on.
I have a problem. My heart is skipping beats and it's very scary.
Okay, Amita, are you passing out with this?
No, but it just keep it stop and it start again, and it's very scary.
Are you having?
And it continue for a long time.
Yeah. Are you having pain when the heart skips? Is it hurt in your chest?
No.
Okay. Well, the first thing you should do, Amita, is you should see your doctor and get him to do an EKG and a monitor on it to see what type of skipping this is. Earlier in the program, we talked about atrial fibrillation. Sometimes this skip might represent atrial fibrillation. It might make skips. It might be due to many different types of rhythm. So you really need to check with your doctor to see if this is anything you need to worry about or not, or be concerned about. We don't want you to worry. We want you to be concerned. So go to your doctor, have them put a monitor on you, get an EKG, have them check on your heart, and then once you know what type of rhythm it is, then he'll be able to guide you about what you should do to improve the way you feel. But go see your doctor, and we will be praying for you. What part of Florida do you live in?
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Another thing, while you're waiting for the doctor, go out and walk on the beach. Take some deep breaths in, get some more oxygen to you. Of course, if you're passing out or getting dizzy, you need to get help right away, because that's a sign that you might not be getting enough blood pressure to parts of the body, including your brain. So go see your doctor, get an examination, and we will be praying for you. And drop us a line at our website, heartwiseministries.org, and let us know how you're doing, okay?
Thank you for your call. You know, Dr. Marcum, I have to admit, I don't go see my doctor regularly, and I feel pretty well, but still, how often should I go see my doctor?
Well, at your age group, at least once a year, mainly for some preventive checks, because there's many things that your doctor can pick up on that you might not know you have. High blood pressure is one. If you have a family history of certain conditions, they can look for those. Diabetes, identify cholesterol problems early on. Look at your skin, make sure you're not getting moles or skin cancer. Ask you a bunch of other questions that might lead you to better health. And you want someone that sort of looks at everything, you know, make sure you're happy, make sure you're not depressed and sad, because that's affect your health. And I'm real concerned about that, because 1 in 3 people now have mental health problems.
Right.
And sometimes if we can pick up that early, we can give them a lot of suggestions that they can do to improve their health, because that's as important as anything else. So at least once a year, the older you get, if you have medical problems, sometimes you have to go more often.
Right. Sounds like some good advice. I will schedule my appointment tomorrow. We'll be back with more of the Heart of Health Live, but in the meantime, go visit our website at heartwiseministries.org, where you can find more of Dr. Marcum's advice in our blogs and our videos and radio shows. We'll be right back on the Heart of Health Live. Stay tuned.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org.
Body language. Without saying a word, it can tell you so much. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. The sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Learn the body language, the sudden signs, and spot a stroke fast.
This year, it's estimated that 56 million people will die. Some from old age, some from disease, and still others from terrible tragedies. At HeartWise, we can't do anything about sudden death, but what we can give you is free medical information that will help you live a longer, more fulfilling life with less disease and illness. If you are interested, we would love to talk to you about our wonderful God whom we love and serve, who is with us even when we are going through heartache. If you have a medical question, or if you are just at the end of your rope, call us at 855-644-3278. At HeartWise, we believe in truth, love, and healing.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We don't know where the time has gone tonight. It's flown by. There's been so many great callers. And we've got just 2 more that we can get to tonight. And so I'm going to ask you to be concise and brief with your questions. But Pauline in California, go ahead with your question for Dr. Marcum.
Hi, doctor.
Hi, Pauline.
I'm 69 years old, and I wear a pacemaker because of the electricity in the heart. The top is not in sync with the bottom half. So I wore that for 8 years, and recently, 3 weeks ago, the cardiologist told me that my heart is getting weaker, and she changed my heart medications. And I'll have this coming on the 28th this month, this coming Monday, I'll be having a cardiac catheterization. And I just want to know what to expect. I mean, if it's if it's a hard thing to bear.
Okay, Pauline, that's a great question. And I'm holding right here a pacemaker. And this is one place where modern medicine is very useful, because pacemakers help keep the heart going, just like a car battery helps keep your car going. And before people had pacemakers, their hearts would run out of energy before long. what your doctor is probably looking for is your heart has changed, and many things can make the heart look a little bit weaker. One of the most common causes is blockages in the arteries of the heart, and that's what they're looking for with an angiogram. And they're going to go up inside and take pictures of the arteries to see if you have much blockage in the arteries that might make your heart weak. This test has a few risks, but the benefits probably outweigh the risk at this point. It's an outpatient test. They go in through either the wrist or the groin. They take pictures of all the arteries to see if you might have a blockage. Now, if you have a blockage, one of three decisions will be made. Sometimes they give medications. Sometimes, if the blockage is in a severe place in just one vessel, they can put a stent in. And sometimes there's many blockages and they have to recommend bringing extra blood around the heart, and that's called a bypass. So let us know what they find out, and then we can sort of help you more about going on the right steps. And then if they don't find any blockages, they'll look for other things that might make a heart weak, like thyroid disease, high blood pressure, many different other things, an infection, not getting enough oxygen at night, many other things. Sometimes just aging, Nick, can make the heart weak. But Pauline, we will be praying for you, and I'm confident that this test, if it's a good doctor, they'll do a good job for you, and that'll give them more information so they can help your heart even do better. Great call.
James, thank you for your patience. We've got 10 seconds for you. What's your question? Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, doctor. I'm going into for a full knee operation replacement August 11th, and I'm scheduled to be married November the 8th. Can you help me?
Sorry, James, can you tell us, that was you're going for a knee operation?
Yeah, full knee replacement on the right knee, August the 11th.
So what are things he can... How can he prepare for that knee surgery?
Yeah, well, a couple things that we want to do before any surgery is making sure you're eating a healthy diet, making sure you get a lot of rest, hydration. Those are the main things that you need to do, and your doctor will want to review your medicines, make sure your blood sugar is good so you heal faster. All those are simple things. If you have more specific questions, go to our website.
That's right, and you can find that at heartwiseministries.org. And we'd just like to thank everyone who called in tonight and everyone who watched. Thank you for becoming part of the HeartWise family. You know, we can't do this program without you, and you make up the program, so thank you for participating with us tonight. And we solicit your prayers as we move forward and your support. Go to heartwiseministries.org, and you can find all the rest of our content there. Dr. Marcum, 10 seconds. Any last words?
My pleasure. We just want to let everyone know we're praying for you, and remember that there's a God that's going to heal us all in His time. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.